What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Atrocitus Show. Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Blackest Nightwave with the Build-A-Figure of Atrocitus. So we have a lot of cool figures related to the Blackest Night storyline. So first off, we have the Black Lantern versions of Batman and Superman. So those both look really cool and like their zombified looks, which is awesome. And of course we'll go into more story about them. And then we also have Deathstorm and the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. So both of those look cool as well. Again, Deathstorm in like his Black Lantern look, and then Green Lantern just the Kyle Rayner version, which I don't like this outfit a lot. We'll of course look at it better. I don't like the look of his outfit, but it's still a cool figure to get a main Green Lantern. And then of course we have our Build-A-Figure of Atrocitus. So we have this head right there and everything that you can see. So gonna look very cool. I think he's gonna be a big figure just by the look of his legs and everything. So that'll be exciting to look at, and I'm just excited to overall take a look at these figures. So let me go ahead and get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. And we're starting off with Batman, which looks cool here in the Blackest Night form, so it's like a zombified form of Batman. But this version of Batman was actually a clone of Bruce Wayne that was created by Darkseid and used to make people think Batman was actually dead. So he killed this version, people are like, oh, Batman's dead. But then this clone version was revived by the Black Lanterns, and he was given a Black Lantern ring, so he got the powers of the Black Lantern. So overall, he looks pretty cool. Like I said, it's just a zombified version of Batman. So he has the all zombie face. If you can see that there, you can see his teeth all gross and his mouth's disgusting. And then he's just got the Batman cowl and cape, and this time it's in like this dark blue color, so you can see that blue tint going all the way there down the back, which I like the all tattered and torn, make it look more zombified with the little spikes on the shoulders. Then he's got the all gray suit that Batman usually wears, nice textured design to it. He's got the bat logo on his chest, but with the Black Lantern design, and then you can see more of the black lines running through the body that I think is cool, adding more details. He's got gloves on in the blue, and of course his fingers are all like bitten stuff as zombies do, and that goes all the way down to the blue boots as well. So I like the blue and gray version here. It kind of looks very cool and different than the normal black and gray version, but very cool looking design for Batman here. But we can do his movements, so his head can twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far, so pretty good movements in the neck, a little bit stiff, but good movements. Shoulders come up to 90. We have the butterfly joint there. Of course, can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend pretty much all the way up on itself there, so can go all the way up. And then the wrist can twist around and flex on the ball joint, so we have where it flexes, so there it can flex back and forth. We have the ab crunch in the middle, so you can crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty decent crunching, can twist all the way around there as well. And I assume he has the movements as the waist as well. It feels pretty stiff, so you can't really get him to twist, and he rocks back and forth just very little. The hips can come up close to 90. I kind of force him up there up to 90, out to the side that far, just very little thigh twist, but a double knee joint that can bend up to the back that far, very close to kicking his own butt. And then the foot can flex back and forth, twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So he is just like all the other McFarlanes, so nothing special about him. But again, it's just the looks that carry it out. So I love the looks, don't love the joints because of the McFarlane joints, but overall he looks pretty decent, and it is hard to get him to stand up. He just keeps falling back, I assume, because of the cape. So if you see him standing, you may not see it as well, but especially with his feet, he's like completely like curved forward, and he still keeps falling back, so that's annoying. But thankfully we get a base to pop him on, so that helps him stand up, and you can stand him up straight more. And he doesn't come with any accessories, unfortunately. I mean, he is a Black Lantern, so he's not really going to have any accessories, except for he does have the Black Lantern ring on his hand, which I don't know if you'll even be able to see it. It's just a design there in the blue that they kind of designed in. Like I said, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it, but it's just there on his finger. So it doesn't come with anything exciting, the figure itself. It's just all the looks that matter here. It'd be cool if he came with something else, but he doesn't. And then of course we have his card. So there's a picture of him from the comic from the Blackest Night storyline, and on the back, of course, it says his real name's Bruce Wayne, but we know he's a clone, as I mentioned, and we'll skip through all the normal Batman stuff. But it says, during the Blackest Night, the Black Hand used his power over the Black Lantern rings to raise the dead and unleash his army of Black Lanterns on the universe. Among those resurrected is Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, who had recently been slain by Darkseid. So there kind of connects in the story with what I said. So very cool Batman figure. Like I said, not necessary unless you want a zombified version or to do a whole Blackest Night display, because that would be pretty cool, getting all the characters that are involved. So overall, it's pretty cool figure. Like I said, have the issues with the McFarlanes, as I usually do, of their joints, and like I said, not being able to get this figure to stand up without the base. So just the usual gripes about McFarlane's, but overall he looks really cool. And next up, we have the Black Lantern version of Superman, which this is actually Kal-El, not EL, but actual letter L, which is Superman of Earth 2. And he was killed by Superboy Prime during the Infinite Crisis event and was buried on Earth 1, but he was revived along with Lois Kent as Black Lanterns to attack Smallville, but ended up being defeated by Connor Kent. So overall, he looks pretty cool. Again, another zombified version, but of Superman. So with him and not having a cowl and stuff, you can see more of his face design. So very zombie-ish with the yellow teeth, the red eyes with black all around, and all the like holes and stuff forming in the skin. So that just looks super cool. And it carries out through the body on the arms there as well, all nasty arms, which unfortunately I don't know if you can see it, but his arms are different colors. So like the elbow is like a skin colored plastic, so it doesn't look like it's painted or anything, but then the upper and lower arm are painted, but they're not the same color. Like the lower arms are almost like a gold tint to them or something, which is weird compared to the normal skin color. So I don't know what's going on with the arm design in here. It like really stands out. Like I said, to me, I don't know if it shows up on camera. That's just weird. But then he's got an outfit very similar to, you know, Superman's. This time is all black and silver, so it's like the Superman Returns version. The S on his chest in the silver, but it looks pretty bad paint wise. Like it just looks pretty sloppy and not the cleanest in there. And some silver going up to the cape pieces on the back that I like are just now these strand pieces. So there's 5 different strands here. So I like that cape design, you know, even it's all torn up, and then more silver, so a little circle there in the center, and then the lines going down the legs similar to Batman had all the way down to the silver boots. So overall, he just looks pretty cool. I like the design. Like I said, I just wish the color was a little bit better on the arms. But we can do his movements, so his head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so not good movements. And once again, it's Superman, so you can't even get him to look up that high, so that's unfortunate, but it's still not horrible. Then we get the shoulders that come up to 90, of course have the butterfly joint there, can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up that far, so not as far as the Batman, but not bad. The wrist can twist around and flex on the ball joint, so back and forth. We have the ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back, twist around there as well. And then we have the lower crunch, so his lower crunch is much weaker, so you can get it, so crunch back and forth there and twist around as well. Hips are a little bit stiff, but can come up at least that far. It's a little bit under 90 out to the side there. Of course, can do the splits. Some more thigh twist for him. A double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, pretty much kicking his own butt. And then he has the new ankles where it's kind of like designed in, so it's not as noticeable, but you can see that there. But it has the split in the middle, so of course can allow it to rock back and forth. And then we have the twist. So we have the twist at the lower foot, and then can twist above the ankle joint as well. And then the toe joint on the end. So overall, he's a little bit better than Batman. His joints have a little bit more movement except for in the neck, but otherwise his joints are pretty much the same or a little bit better. And again, he's a little bit hard to stand. Like I have him standing here just fine, but of course have the base to pop him on, which will help stabilize him. And again, no accessories with him. He should have a Black Lantern ring, but it looks like he doesn't even have the rings on his fingers, so that's a little bit weird. And then we have his card, so there's a picture again of him from the Blackest Night comics, and you can see even has like the ring design there on his hand, which he doesn't have. But anyway, so there's on the back says Kal-El, so the other version of Clark Kent, and he has pretty much the exact same story as normal Clark Kent, just a little bit different. But it says after his death in Infinite Crisis, the Superman of Earth, I don't know if that's -2 or just Earth 2, is revived by Black Lantern ring and attacks Superman of Earth 1 or -1 and Superboy Connor Kent in Smallville. So that, you know, again, but much of the story that I already said. So overall, not a bad figure. Like I said, his paint, I wish his paint was a little bit better, and overall they did a really good design with the zombified stuff. It just looks awesome. And next up, we have Deathstorm, which he looks really cool here. So following the death of Ronnie Raymond, he is called by a Black Lantern power ring and joins the Black Lantern Corps, but he is attacked and absorbed by the current Firestorm into his Firestorm Matrix. So they both become Deathstorm, but they are eventually separated and restored in the final battle against Necron. So he just looks cool here, and like I said, the combination of the two of the Black Lantern version and the current Firestorm gives us Deathstorm that looks awesome. And again, he's a Black Lantern, so he's the Black Lantern design. I would say their logo, but it's a little bit different on him, but he's Firestorm, so he's got the all skull head there, which is really cool. That skull just looks awesome. And again, another great sculpt by McFarlane. And then the hair flame effects going up, and I like how it's got like a purplish tint to it. I really like that. And then he's just got a sort of a Firestorm outfit, like I said, with the modified, so it's just an all black outfit, has the silver designs just like Superman and Batman hand. But I like the like shoulder pieces here. That looks really cool, again with a nice sculpt, almost like an ooze design into him. He's got some black glove pieces there with the black gloves. I wonder if he has a ring. It does look like he has the ring sculpt on his finger there. And again, silver going down the legs all the way to the boots, where he's got silver up top and then black boots. So overall, once again, just a very cool design. Like, look at the back on it there. It just looks awesome. But for his movements, his head, it's pretty stiff in there, but can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far. So not the greatest movements there. The shoulders come up to 90 with the butterfly joint, rotate all the way around. We have the bicep twist that feels a little stiff as well. The double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself. So it'll pretty much bend as far as it can go, but it's hitting itself. And the wrist can twist around and flex on the ball joint, which feels back and forth for this hand. Then we have the upper ab crunch, so you can crunch back and forth and twist there a little bit. And then the lower one, yeah, feels like that's where we get most of our crunching, so back and forth, and can twist there as well at the waist. Then the hips can come up close to 90 out to the side that far. Pretty much no thigh twist for him. A double knee joint that bends up that far, can kick his own butt. And then the boot can flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So he's almost exactly like Superman, very little differences between the two. He, I think, looks much cooler though, so all of these figures are awesome, but I just love the look of him so much. And of course, I'm getting him to stand, no real issues there, but we got the base. So now he's super stable. And for accessories, he does come with a White Lantern power battery, so this is pretty cool and part of the storyline where he tries to find it and destroy it, but he's not able to, so we just get this White Lantern power battery, so it's cool we can stick into his hand. So there he is trying to take over the white power battery, so that looks pretty cool there. And then of course we do have his card as well, so get a picture of him from the comics. And on the back, of course, real name Ronnie Raymond, and for him it says the result of the deceased Firestorm being taken host by a Black Lantern, Deathstorm joins the ranks of the undead Black Lanterns set on destroying all life as we know it throughout the universe. As a key threat in Blackest Night, Deathstorm is a part of the siege on Earth to defend the Black Lantern battery and the task of fighting the remaining members of the Justice League. So there's a little more story for him. And overall, again, another cool, and this probably is the coolest one so far out of all the Black Lanterns. He just looks awesome in that he comes with a power battery, even though it's for the white. Still pretty cool, so just an awesome figure here for Deathstorm. And our last main figure of the wave is Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. So of course the Blackest Night storyline has to do with all the Lantern Corps coming together, and of course the rise of the Black Lanterns and all that sort of stuff. So we have to have a Green Lantern in here somewhere. So we have Kyle Rayner, which is our first time getting him. And he overall looks decent. I wouldn't say he looks cool, but I wouldn't say he looks horrible either. I just don't like this design. I don't know why they chose this. Like, I'll show you the card. The picture they have on there I think is much cooler. But overall this design is okay, I guess. So we have Kyle Rayner, which was the Green Lantern replacement for Hal Jordan. And he became a member of the Green Lantern Honor Guard following the Sinestro Corps War, and we see in the comics he helps defeat Necron. So overall, like I said, looks decent, not the best. So there's his face. So he has a giant mask on, so compared to the others, his mask is much bigger there in the green, and his hair is there sort of short and like flowing stuff. I like the strands of hair, so nice design there. And then we have his outfit, which is what I don't like as much, just like the texture and stuff they put into it. It feels like a stitching material. It's almost like he's just wearing a whole suit made of like a sweater, but has the Green Lantern logo on it there, and of course the green up top and black underneath with the white gloves and the green down on the boots. And then it's also the color they chose. Like in real life, it's supposed to be like a bright green, like it kind of looks like through the camera it's coming out as a bright green, but in real life it's actually like a much darker version of that same tint. And like it's the same green, just like they darkened it up, so it just looks awkward. It's almost like a pea green or something. Like it just looks weird. Like I said, in the camera it looks much better, but overall just I don't like the design with the texture and the color they chose. But overall it is a Green Lantern, so it looks like Lantern. Again, has the white gloves. You can see his ring on there. They actually painted it in for him, and overall just, you know, looks relatively decent. Nothing great, but it's awesome to have him. So for his movements, his head can twist all the way around, super smooth for him, and he can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent overall movements. Shoulders up to 90, have the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself, and then the wrist can twist around and flex on the ball joint back and forth. Again, the up wrap crunch, so crunch forward, crunch back, very little crunching and very little twisting, so he's pretty stiff in there. And then we have the lower crunch, so back and forth and twist around there, so yeah, more crunching there. Then the hips can come up to 90 out to the side that far, pretty much no thigh twist, but a double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, so it doesn't kick his own butt. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth, again with the ankles that sort of blend in there. Colors don't match unfortunately, but it sort of blends in. And of course they can twist side to side, so above the ankle, and then the actual foot should be able to twist too with the toe joint on the end. So not bad, has some stiff joints and everything, and doesn't have as much movement as other figures, but still not a bad figure. And of course he's standing, but we have the base. And then he actually comes with some accessories, which is cool. So first off, he comes with a Green Lantern power battery, so nice design here. It looks different than the usual design, but overall looks pretty cool. So we have the Green Lantern, so let's put this in his hand. So there we can have him charging up his ring. And then he also comes with a sword, so that's pretty cool. So we have one of his hard light constructs of a sword, which is big and has a really cool design, although it's see-through, it's hard to see, but it reminds me of the other Green Lantern one we've had. But unfortunately with him, he only has one hand with a grip, so we have to get rid of the power battery to put this in his hand. So there's Kyle with the sword, and unfortunately the sword's a little bent up too, so it's been up in the packaging, but he looks really cool there. And of course we can bring in our other Green Lanterns that we have, so we have John Stewart and the Hal Jordan versions there, so we have 3 Green Lanterns now. There's still at least a couple more we can get, but very cool to have these 3 now all together, which is very cool. But that brings us to his card. So there's a picture of him. Like I said, this would probably been a much better look just overall for him, because it just seems like the mask isn't as big, and then of course the suit doesn't have that texture and stuff. But we have Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, and since we've never had him before, we'll go ahead and read it. So it says, after Hal Jordan succumbs to the influence of Parallax, the Green Lantern Corps crumbles. The Guardian Gethet travels to Earth and bestows the final Green Lantern power ring to artist Kyle Rayner. Rather than protecting just Earth and Space Sector 2814, it's now Kyle's responsibility to guard the entire universe as the sole Green Lantern until the Guardians and the Corps return. During the Blackest Night, an army of Black Lanterns attacked the Guardians' homeworld of Oa, where many of the Green Lanterns also reside, including Kyle Rayner. Looking to defend the planet, Kyle flies into action with the other Lanterns by his side. So there's a little more story that now he's the only remaining Green Lantern out there, at least for Earth. And overall, like I said, not a bad figure, just I wish his look was a little bit better, but at least it makes him different from the other Lanterns. And that brings us to our Build-A-Figure of Atrocitus, which is the leader and the first ever Red Lantern, and he has hate for the Guardians of the Universe and Sinestro, and his power is derived from rage. So he has the powers of superhuman strength and durability, and the red power ring constructs to be able to fly, create blood portals, create rage plasma, and has Black Lantern resistance. So he looks very cool here. He is very big, so of course at the end we'll bring in the other figures. You'll see just how tall he is, but he looks awesome here as the Red Lantern Atrocitus. Just looks really cool. So he has the red face there, so it looks pretty awesome and demonous. Big old mouth there with a lot of teeth, yellow eyes, all wrinkly face, even got some like holes on his face on the cheeks and chin with this like helmet design there around it with the black details. And he's got the big shoulder armor guards there and the red going down the center with the Red Lantern design in the center, red gloves and red boots as well. And he should have red ring there on his finger. So overall he just looks cool and again has a nice texture for the overall body design. So he can do his movements, so his head can twist all the way around, and I'm kind of pushing his shoulder pieces off. So it looks like those just stick into the shoulder, so you can take them off. But then his neck can look down that far and up that far, so not bad movements. But then we get the shoulders that come up to 90, have the butterfly joint and can rotate around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up that far, so pretty good. And then the wrist can twist around and flex on the ball joint. It's hard to see wherever the joint is in there, but it can flex back and forth. Then we have the upper ab crunch, so he can crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty good crunching and twist. And then it feels like he has a lower one. It's a little bit different design, but it does have the lower crunch and twist there as well. Then the hips can come up to 90 and out to the side that far. A double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. Ooh, very close to kicking his own butt, so good for a Build-A-Figure. And then the foot can flex back and forth. Again, it has sort of the design that blends in there, so it can rock back and forth and twist side to side, again above the joint and for the actual foot itself, and then the toe joint on the end of the foot. So I like that this is pretty much just an oversized version of the actual figures. There's not much different with any of the joints or anything, and he functions pretty well. Actually, it's probably some of the best movements out of all the figures, so pretty good for him overall. And of course, he doesn't have a base or anything since he's the Build-A-Figure, no additional accessories. He just looks pretty cool is all there is to him. He's just an awesome Red Lantern Atrocitus, so looks amazing. So there's our Blackest Nightwave all together with that Atrocitus in the background, so you can see how tall he is compared to all of our other figures, and those just all look really cool. So we got the 3 Black Lanterns in this wave of Batman, Superman, and Deathstorm. We got Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, and then the Build-A-Figure of Atrocitus there. So all 5 of these figures are really cool. Again, awesome looks, you just have the standard issues I have for McFarlane's, so I don't love these figures, but the looks of them are pretty good, and that's the drawing point for me. Overall, a pretty good wave that I really enjoyed, so let me know what you thought of them down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.